Hello everybody, my name is Jasmine aka Marisol, and today I'm going to show you how I made Rumi's Norigae from Kpop Demon Hunters. Now, quick PSA about this one. This is really hard to make. It's really intricate. You need a lot of practice to be able to do these knots. So if you follow the tutorial, please make sure to give yourself time, maybe make this a month project, maybe even more. I will put chapters, aka timestamps, so you can skip back and forth and do the parts when you have time. To get started, I'd like to talk about what we'll need to make this Norigae first. We'll need 460 centimeters of thick purple string. The string should be 2 to 2.5 millimeters thick. You could also work with 1.5 millimeter string, but I don't exactly recommend it. Also, you need to separate the 460 centimeters into one piece of 220 centimeters and one piece of 240 centimeters. You're also gonna need some black string with the same thickness. For this one, you just need a 220 centimeter long piece. Going on, we'll need 3 tassels. I bought these online off the internet and they're about 20 centimeters long. You can make them whatever size you want, but I thought for the proportions 20 centimeters looks best. If you have a chance to get like a Korean triple tassel, that means like 3 tassels already bound together, then you can also get this. I just thought I'd make a easy to recreate, but since not everybody has access to the ones from Korea. You'll also need some hot pink or pink string. This one is around 1 millimeter thick, and you'll need about 180 centimeters of this one. We'll also need a crochet hook, maybe also a needle. Make sure that the eye of the needle is wide enough to fit your thick string through it. We'll need some clear beads. The hole in the bead should be big enough to fit about 2 pieces of the 1 millimeter string. We'll also need some thread, preferably in the same color as the tassels or something similar, a lighter, a normal sewing needle, and some scissors. Now that's everything you'll need. There's one more thing I'm going to use today. So this thing right here, some of you who watch Korean knot tutorials may already know this one. In English it's called an awl, and I use it to pull tight the knots. You can make everything that we do in this tutorial with your pure hands, but since I've been knotting so much, also for my online shop, my fingers really start hurting after a while, so I use this as a little help. Another thing we need to talk about is the structure of this Norigae, so you know what to expect in this video. So for this tutorial, I want to separate this into a couple of parts that you can look up with the timestamps or the chapters. We're gonna do a dorä매듭 or Korean axe knot and the Chrysanthemum-Knot. I'm going to show both of these really slowly so you can learn them. Then I'll explain the 생쪽매듭 and the 삼정자매듭. We'll need those to make those clusters of them, like over here and over here. So we'll have different sections for the 생쪽매듭 and the 삼정자매듭, so that I can explain you really slowly how they're done. And after that is done, we'll do this section over here, kind of like the hard piece of the Norigae. I will briefly explain how to do the preparation that is making those, again, 생쪽매듭 clusters or clover knot clusters. And since we already learned how to do them before, I will just explain that really briefly to then move on to explain this big 국화매듭 or like the fourfold 국화매듭. Then for this part down here, I'll just make a structure video since we've done the 생쪽매듭 and the 도래매듭 a lot by this time. I'll briefly explain how to do these knots, and it's pretty similar to the one up here. And then for the last part, we will move on towards making the tassels. And lastly, I make this little knotted accessory on the Norigae with you. I know that it's a lot. As I said, maybe take a couple of time if you really want to make this yourself. But it's also not a shame if that's too much for you. Just know that there is no pressure at all. Just take your time. Let's get started then. We take both of our 240 centimeter strings and we'll tie them together at the top. Because I want this to look very tidy, instead of doing just a normal knot, I'll do a dorämädub or Korean X knot. So let's get started. I know it might be a bit hard because our strings are so long, but trust me, it would be harder if we had two less string in the end. Okay, let's just start by forming a loop with our purple string and putting the string that forms this loop behind the black string, like so. Then we're gonna take our purple string and pull it through that loop we just created. Now when you look at the loop, you can see this end down here that belongs to the string that we just pulled through. I want to pull on the side down here so that the loop up here closes up. You can see by doing this new loop formed. And to continue on, we want to hold it in place with our thumb like so. We basically just squish it a bit to the side. Now we take our black string, again form a loop, and put the string of the loop behind the other thread and also behind this first loop that we've created. Then we take our black string and pull it through both of the loops. Okay, now to pull it tight, we'll pull on the purple string first. Then, before we pull on the black string, we pull this bit down here that connects to this loop, and we want to close that first. So just pull, then pull on the black thread finally, and you can already see the X shape forming. Now we just pull that tight. Make sure the back looks good as well. And then pull that tight. Okay. That looks good. Now I'll leave a little bit of space. I think for me it's about like 6 centimeters. This will be the hole where I can hang up the Norigae or wear it around my belt or wherever you want to wear it. You can decide for this on whatever size you want, but personally I think like 5 to 6 centimeters is my personal preference. Okay, so let's make another dorämädub or X knot. So again, take the violet thread, make a loop, then pull the purple string through that loop, then we pull on this end down here to close up this loop that we just created, create the secondary loop, push that to the side to hold it in place. Then take our black string, form a loop behind the one that we've just created, and pull our black string through both of the loops. Now again, to pull this tight, pull on the purple one first, then pull on this bit down here to close up this loop, and then pull on the black string. Very nice. And now we just pull that tight. Oops, this got a bit out of place. Let me just fix that. Perfect. Oh, it's a bit more than the measurements that I wanted. It's now at roughly about 8 centimeters. So I'm just gonna move it a bit. How I do that is I push in string from this side and pull the string on this side. If I do that for a bit, you will see that it will slowly move towards the left side. So I push in some string to the knot and then pull tight from the other side. In between, I can measure a bit until it is at the measurements that I like. Okay, I like that, so I'm gonna pull it very nice and tight. Now that we've done our second 도래매듭 or X knot, we can move on to our first complicated knot, the 국화매듭 or Chrysanthemum-Knot. To do that, I want to hold my string vertically rather than horizontal. And I take it into my right hand and squish it between my middle and ring finger. You can see the part that we've already made knots on is pointing towards us, and the strings go out the back of my hand like so. Then I'll take the black thread and make 2 loops around my index and middle finger. So 1, 2. Very nice. Now to continue, I don't want to hold it in my right hand, but in my left hand. So I'm just gonna reach through the loops with my index finger and going to hold that all between my index and middle finger on my left hand. It's fine, just take your time to do that. In the end, it should look like this. You have the 2 loops squished in between your index and middle finger. You have the knotted part that we've already done still pointing towards you. The end of the black thread goes out of the back of your hand like this. And you'll have this purple string over here. Now if you have that, let's continue on. You take the purple string and create a loop that you also hold between your index, middle finger and a bit between your thumb. Okay then, let's twist our purple loop once towards us and pull it around the 2 black loops. Once again, if you didn't get that, twist the loop once towards us and pull it over the 2 black loops. Then with the rest here on the bottom, we're gonna twist it once away from us, like so. Again, take your time with that. It's fine if you need to pause the video. Okay, going forward, I'm taking my black string and pulling it through the 2 black loops from the left side. So from here, go through the 2 black loops. Perfect. Then put the black thread underneath the purple thread. Make sure that your ends don't tangle while doing this. And finally, pull the black thread through this purple loop here from behind. You could also take the end of the thread and just pull it through here, but with a string that long for me, it's easier to just like grab it through here and pull the rest through. Then finally, we're going to take the black string and pull it once again through the black loops, but this time from the right side. Again, I'm just going to squish it through here and pull the rest of the string just because it's so long. Make sure that stays in place though. Very nice. Now then, I'm going to take my purple loop again and twist it once towards me again. You can see before it was twisted away, meaning it crosses over here, and then we twist it once again and it's open. Now I can pull on here to get a bit more string into the loop, but I think This should be fine. And now we're going to repeat the same step as before. So again, twist the loop once towards us, pull it over the 2 black loops, and the rest down here, flip that once away from us, like so. Again, I'm going to take my black thread, pull it through the 2 black loops from the left side, make sure I put it underneath the purple string and through the purple loop. And last but not least, I'm going to take my black string and pull it through the 2 black loops. Once again, this time from the right side. Okay. Now then, I want to take a bit of a different grip to this to continue on. So I want to separate those 2 black loops a little bit. And in between that, going through where my other index finger is already going through, I want to push that index finger in, take the left one out, and then move the left one back in. So basically what I just did is, instead of holding it like from underneath the 2 loops, I have the 2 loops more centered. And what you should see right now is the 2 loops we're talking about the whole time, and those 4 strings crossing it, the 2 purple and 2 black strings. So right now we're going to take our purple string and we're gonna weave it in there. What does that mean, you may ask? So under every other string, we will put the purple string under, and at every other string, we will pull it over. So I want to pull the purple thread under this black thread over here, then over the purple one, under the black one, and finally again over the purple one. So this is where our string should go through. So take the end, put it under the black one, over the purple one, and again under this black one and over the purple one. Let me just pull that through all the way. And this is what it should look like right now. So now comes a bit of a scary part, at least it was for me when I first started making these knots. We're needing to flip that knot to continue on the other side. So what I recommend you do is just place your hand over the knot as it is right now, slide out your index finger, and then just flip your hand. Again, take your time. There's no rush. If you need to repeat that step, just rewind a bit. Now the other side looks like this. As you can see, it's a bit messy right now. Let's tidy that up. See the string that starts at where we first knotted? Goes all the way up here. That's one of our loops, was just a bit stuck there. And then you should already see our second loop again up here. And I want to hold it similar as before, so I just move my index finger in between the 2 loops and through the middle of the knot. And once again, we have this pattern where it's 2 black and 2 purple strings crossing the 2 loops. But before we weave in the purple string again, we need to do one more step. So you see, just next to the purple string that crosses the 2 loops, there's the end of the top loop right here. If you look from the top, it would be over here. And we want to take our string and push it through the top, like so. Let's do that with the actual string. So take your purple string, pull it through the top, and let's pull that all the way. And then we can again start to weave in the thread. Let me demonstrate you once more. This time we have a purple string first, so we go over that, underneath this black one right here, over the purple one, and under the black one, like so. Let's do it with the string, over the purple, under the black one, over the purple, under the black one, and pull that all through. Very nice. The knotting is all done. Now the only thing we need to do with this knot is pull it tight. So if you look at the knot right now, you might see this kind of net pattern forming in the middle. But we'll also need to find some loops that we pull on that make the flower shape work. So as you may see on the outside of the knot, there are those kind of loops that feel like they go around the edge of the knot. Those are the loops we actually need to find. So I can pretty surely say that this is one. Let's pull it a bit. This twisted one is also a loop that we need to pull. See this one on the outside right here? This is also one. Maybe when looking for these, keep in mind we'll need to find 3 of each color. So 3 purple ones and 3 black ones. So for the black ones is this one, and this one. Don't worry if you don't find them right away. You have time to find them. You can even test pull a bit to see if it works. Okay then, now I'm just starting to pull tight on the knot so that this becomes an even square here in the middle. To do that, you can pull on the top, on those bottom strings, and on the loops. Just try to make it even. Also, you don't need to pull it too tight yet, because we're going to still adjust the knot in a second. Just want it at a range where it's stable enough that we can work with it. Also, always make sure to look at both sides while doing it, because Korean knots are supposed to be even on every side. Okay, I think that looks fine for now. You can see the issue we have right now is that we have a lot of extra thread here on the top and in the loops. So what I'm going to do is from top to bottom, I'm just gonna follow the flow of the string and redistribute where the string is. I know it's a bit complicated, but don't worry, I'm sure you'll be able to get that. So from the top, I follow the string and see that it goes into the knot over here. I'm going to start to pull down here. Don't worry, you can also do that with your hands. It's just that my nails are kind of in a rough shape right now because of all the knots I do, so I use this needle type of thing. Okay, then when you follow the string, you'll see that it moves into this first loop. So I'm just gonna pull on there. And that's what I'm going to do all the way until all the excess thread is coming out down here. If you don't get right away where to pull it, that's fine. Just take your time, follow the string, and if you're not sure where it goes, just test pull a bit. You can always readjust your knot if you pull on the wrong 1. Okay, that's one side done, and I'm just gonna quickly do the other side. Okay, now that we're done with both sides, it looks like this. As you may see, I pulled those loops a bit tighter than what we'd like them to be at the end. It's because the knot is not too tight yet, and I can still pull on them a bit. So you can either grab it with your hand like so, or you do it like I do with my needle, just pull on it. And that's what I'm just gonna do with all of the loops once again. Okay, I'm thinking that this looks very nice right now. It's also really tight. To find out if it's tight enough, I mean, it's also kind of your preference if it's tight enough, but I really want it to hold up well. So as you can see, there are no gaps between the string. Like when I hold my hand behind it, you can't really see my skin through. There's a bit of a gap. See, like way in the middle, but that's okay. That's tiny. I think that is a good density for the knot. Okay, congratulations then. You have made a 국화매듭. One of the more advanced knots actually. So that's really good if you get through it. To move on, I'm going to make another 도래매듭 or X knot. Okay, perfect. Now we can move on to the next part of the Norigae, which is this part. Actually, I'm not quite sure if there is like a separate name for this kind of structure, but basically how it works is that we're first going to make a 생쪽매듭 or clover knot. Then we'll make a 삼정자매듭 or Triple-Clover-Knot, and then another 생쪽매듭 or clover knot. So let's move on to this, and let's start by making a basic 생쪽매듭. The 생쪽매듭 in general will be like the basic form to do all the upcoming knots, to do most of the upcoming knots. So study it well. Okay then. To make a simple 생쪽매듭, I'm first going to take my left string, or in this case my purple string, and I'm going to squish it together in a loop, like so. Just squish it together. Then I take the rest of my purple thread, wrap it once around this loop, just from the front once around it. Take the bit of this loop and the rest of the string together between my thumb and the next finger, like so. This is what your setup should look like. Then I take the black string, also squish it together in a loop, and push it through this very first loop. While doing this, I'm not doing it from the back, but from the front, just push it through there. Now comes a bit more complicated part, but I'm sure you can get it right. So right now I have this loop here that reaches through the other one. I'm gonna take my index finger and my thumb, push them through here, and grab what I'm holding in place between my left thumb and the index finger. So grab that, pull it through this loop a bit. Going to pull this a bit tighter. Now you can see this part that we just pulled through. Up here is this little gap, and that's where we want to pull our black thread through. So just over there, take your black thread. For this one, I recommend to take the end of your black thread. So take that, and from behind, just pull it through there, like so. Okay then, now it doesn't look much like the knot we actually want to have. So to start this off, I'm just going to pull on my string down here and on top, like this. And as you might see, there's already this square kind of shape forming in the middle. What do I mean? So we have this purple string, this black string, this black string, and this purple string. They work kind of like in a rectangle. So that's exactly what I want. If you don't see it yet, Don't panic, just pull around and push a bit more. You can also flip it to the other side. Maybe it's better visible from this side. And then when you see the square shape, you can also see that I have these extra loops on the side that don't really fit into the square shape. So those 2 loops and the top and the bottom are what I actually want to pull on to tighten this knot. I got a lot of comments under my recent tutorials that a lot of people couldn't get this knot right, and I agree, it's really hard. Like when I first started out, I mostly did the knotting part right, but I just couldn't figure out where to pull for the life of me. So don't worry, it is difficult. Just try to take your time, look at what the knot is supposed to look like, and maybe how you can achieve that. Okay, let me just pull this tight so we can work with it. Okay, that's something we can work with. It's tight enough that it doesn't fall apart right on the spot anymore, but not too tight yet. Okay, now as you can see the structure of the knot, but the issue is that the loops are pretty big and I don't want it, so I'm just gonna redistribute the string throughout the knot. How do I do that? From top to bottom, I just look where the string goes in the knot and how I can move this to the end of the string. Again, if you don't get where to pull right from the start, don't panic. Just take your time, look a bit around. If you're not really sure where the string goes, you can also just like test pull a bit. For me, I'm gonna take my tool over here again, just because my fingers are kind of tired from all the knotting I've been doing. Okay, I think like the top here is fine, so I want to focus on getting string out of the loops. So for this purple one, the string from the loop goes right here, flips to the back, and goes out onto the string. So I'm just gonna pull on here. Again, don't worry, if you don't have something like this, you can do all of this with your fingers. I did too when I made the first prototype for this one. And as you can see, the loop is much smaller, a bit too small right now, but don't worry, we will pull a bit tighter in the end, so this loop will be bigger again. Okay, same thing for this black loop. Okay, let's check the back. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Let me just pull on the loops with it. If you do have one like these, it's really easy to pull on the loops because you can just like push it through until this one gets thicker. There you have it, a nicely pulled loop. Make sure that looks how I want it to look. First 생쪽매듭 is done. Now we're going to do a 삼정자매듭. To do this, we need to do 2 생쪽매듭 first. So, but this time we're not going to make the 생쪽매듭 here in the middle, but on each side. So I'm thinking about like, what is it, like 10 centimeters from our last knot, I want to start knotting for another 생쪽매듭. Now with just one string here on this one side, it works a bit different, but the base principle is the same. So first I'm going to squish it together into a loop again, and rather than taking this side and wrapping it around, I'm going to do this with the other side this time. So the part where we've already knotted, I'm going to wrap this around the loop once. And I'm going to take the rest of the string, squish it into a loop, and pull that through the very first loop. If you didn't get the principle of the 생쪽매듭 yet, don't worry, you can also go back to the knot we just made before, where I did it a little slower. Okay, but to continue, I'm again going to reach through with my thumb and index finger. And I'm going to grab what I'm holding in place here. So it looks like this. And again, through this top hole here, I'm going to pull through my string from the back. Also, I know that this tutorial is going to be very long. That is going to be pretty hard, especially if it is your first knotting project. So just take your time. You can also do like a knot each day or knot each week, depending on how quickly you can master them. Okay, now it looks like this. Again, nothing much like the knot we want to have. So I'm just gonna pull and push a bit, but I think I'm already seeing where this is going. So very distorted right now. I can see the box shape again, like this string up here, those two, and this one down here. I already see this extra loop I have in my left hand, this one on the top. Let's find the one for this side. Maybe flip it. Yeah, I think it's this one. And when I pull on all that, you can already see the knot starting to form. Okay, let's pull it a bit tighter so that we can work with it without it falling apart. As you might notice right now, I don't have that 10 centimeter distance I want to have from like where we last knotted. And I also have a lot of extra string in the loop, so I'm going to try to redistribute it so that I get the 10 centimeters over here and the rest out to the leftover string. Okay, again, it's the same principle. I'm just watching where the string goes and according to that, pulling it. Take your time to do that. Maybe pause the video. It's something that's really hard to teach. I think you kind of just need to understand it for yourself after a while. I'm so sorry. Okay, I think this is fine. This one doesn't need to be too tidy or too tight yet. It just needs to stay in place for now. And now I'm going to repeat the exact same process on the other side. In general, for this tutorial, when I'm doing like the same thing on each side, I will always show you on the purple side because it's easier to see, and then I'll speed up the black side. It's exactly the same process for the black side. You can either do it like mirrored, or you can just flip the whole thing, and then it will be the exact same way we did it with the purple thread. Okay then, see you in a bit. This is the other side done. It should look something like this. If one side is like that or both sides are like that, that doesn't really matter. What matters most is that they're roughly at the same length and not tight enough so that they will hold up while we do the next step. The next step is basically going to be another 생쪽매듭, but this time in the middle again, and also while making sure that these will end up in the loops that we pull at the end. So how do we achieve that? First, let's start by squishing the purple string into a loop again. Like so. Take the rest of the purple string and pull it around it. And while doing this, make sure that your 생쪽매듭 that we made at the start stays in this loop down here. So it can't be here, just needs to stay here in this loop so that we squish it together. It kind of looks like that. Now I'm going to hold it in place again, take my black thread, squish it together in a loop, make sure that the 생쪽매듭 stays outside of this loop, pull that through here. Again, the 생쪽매듭 stays down here. Put your fingers through and grab what you're holding in your left hand. like so. Then take the end of your black thread and pull it through this gap over here from the back. Again, it's the exact same principle as we did before. So pull that through, and this time it will be a lot easier to pull on, because we'll have to pull on our 생쪽매듭 and on the top and bottom. So let's just do that really quick. You can already see the square kind of forming. Maybe this will also help you to understand in the future where you need to pull on your normal 생쪽매듭. Again, let's just pull that tight enough so that we can work with it. Okay then, as you can see, it looks very unproportional right now, but we're going to fix that the same way we did before. So I'm just gonna, from top to bottom, follow the flow of the string and redistribute it. This time I need to do an extra step, because when I want to redistribute this loop, I also need to pull it through this 생쪽매듭 over here. Meaning, I need to pull all of the string through the whole 생쪽매듭, down here, into this 생쪽매듭, and then out to the rest of the thread. It's the same principle as before. Again, if you don't know where to pull, just make sure that you go from top to bottom and just follow the flow of the string. You can always test pull if you're not sure where it's going. Okay, I'm gonna just do that very quickly. Okay, this is what both sides done look like. Again, take your time with it. You can also go through the pulling process multiple times if you don't get it like very tight at the beginning. But now let's continue on with the next segment. And that's just another 생쪽매듭. We really will be doing a lot of them for this Norigae. So this time we'll make it in the middle again. So I'm gonna squish together my purple thread into a loop. This is our progress with the last one tightened as well. To continue on, we're just gonna do another 도래매듭. Okay, now one important thing. So in Rumi's Norigae, we have this kind of two-toned look in this part up here, and it changes sides. So first we have, I don't know which way is the correct way right now, but it just matters that it alternates, since you can flip it either way. But like at first the black is on the right side, then throughout 도래매듭 it switches to the left side, and now we've made this 도래매듭 right here, but we want the black color to stay on the very same side so that it doesn't switch. So what we're gonna do is just make another 도래매듭 right beneath that one. That's this part done so far. If you've made it this far, good job, you're doing very good. But I have bad news for you. It doesn't get any easier. Next up will be this 병아리매듭 or chick knot, or at least a type of it. A chick knot or 병아리매듭 basically means that you have a 국화매듭 in the middle and something on the sides. Can be basically any knot, but this kind of construction you call 병아리매듭. So for Rumi's Norigae, this one is going to be very complicated. We have a similar construction of the 생쪽매듭 that we've made beforehand, like we already did here. And we're also gonna make a bigger 국화매듭. So a normal 국화매듭 has 3 loops on each side plus the top and the bottom string. A silky 국화매듭 has 5 loops on each side, but this one has 7 on each side. As you can see, I count this right here as a loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this isn't a 세벌 국화매듭, but would basically be a 네벌 국화매듭. So how do we start this? So basically what we want to do is first make these 2 bits. But we're going to need to make them in the correct distance so that we hopefully don't need to adjust as much. I'm gonna hold it like this for now. Take my left string, which is the purple string. And if you remember, as we did for the 국화매듭, I'll hold it like this, the thread between my middle and ring finger and the another part facing us. And then I'll wrap the thread around my index and middle finger. This time I'll try to make the loops bigger because we'll need more space in the end to make the knot. And instead of doing it 2 times, I will do it 4 times. 4. Okay. And right here, this is my measurement. This is what I need. You can now either, if you like sewing and have some kind of fabric chalk at home, you can just mark it down here. I don't have anything like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a simple knot on this exact spot so that I don't lose it. Okay, like this. So when we make this construction with the 생쪽매듭, 삼정자매듭, and 생쪽매듭, we want to end it right where this knot of ours is. Just so you know, I don't have the measurements perfectly calculated. I'll just try to eyeball it to get it right. I'm starting at like 10-ish centimeters away from our measurement knot. And this is where I want to make a 생쪽매듭. So right now it's gonna be a bit different than we usually do it. So I'm gonna show you again very slowly. So this is the 10 centimeters away from the measurement knot that we just made. Here is the rest of the string. And I'm going to hold it like this. Okay. Now I'm going to squish that into a loop again. Pull the thread from this side with another part around it. Take that end of the thread, make it into a loop. Push that through this very first loop. Take my thumb and index finger and grab what I'm holding in place over here. Hold it through. And finally, take the end of my string again and pull it through this gap up here. As you can see, the process is not different. I just thought it might be confusing because we're holding it in such an odd way without any knots here beforehand. I'm also doing the same thing again. Right now, the bottom part that we held in place is going to be 1 loop for the 생쪽매듭. And other than that, I just need to find the 2 other loops again. Again, take your time with it. Don't worry too much. Now we're just gonna pull that tight so that we can work with it. Okay, then now again, I would like to redistribute the string again, and I want this 10 centimeter distance from my measurement knot again. So I'll just redistribute the string, same as always, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, that's that. Again, it just needs to be tight enough to stay in place for now. If you need the reference again, this string goes to our measurement knot and to the part that we've already knotted, and this side is just the leftover string. Okay, next up, I'm going to make 2 more 생쪽매듭 along this rest of the thread. I'll try to have them at a 10 cm distance in the end, but while knotting I'll take a bit more so that I don't run into complications. Also, so I squish together the loop, and I'll always want to take this part where like at the very end there's our already knotted part, and take that to wrap it around the very first loop. This is so I don't run into any complications later on. Okay, then I've finished my 3 생쪽매듭. So let's look at what the setup looks like. So we have the part where we already knotted. Then our purple string goes here. Here's our measurement knot that we made. And then we have 1, 2, 3 생쪽매듭 at around a 10 cm distance from each other. Now we're going to make a 삼정자매듭 again. While doing this, it's important that you take the side where the knotted part is attached to start off. So to squish the loop together and wrap it around. Otherwise, you might run into some trouble later because you'll have to pull this whole thing through the knot. Okay, this is what it looks like for me after pulling tight. It's not too tight yet, not too even yet. We don't need to focus on this right away since we're going to do a lot of readjusting with this later on anyways. And now we're just making 1 more 생쪽매듭 right in the middle with the bowstrings. Again, make sure to make your first loop with the string that goes onward to the knotted part that we've already made, so you don't run into any troubles. Okay, this is what it looks like for me after pulling everything tight and readjusting a bit. I also did readjust it to be closer to our measurement knot. And this is this part done. Now we need to do the exact same thing on the other side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy where my measurement knot is on this side, also make a measurement knot, and then just start again 10 cm distance from the knot, make a 생쪽매듭, 10 cm from that, another 생쪽매듭, and so on. Yeah, I'm just going to do that off camera. Please take your time to do that. If you need the tutorial again, just repeat that part that we just had, and I'll see you when I'm done with that. Okay, and here we are again with both sides done. As you can see, I just did the exact same thing with the black thread, and they're roughly about the same length away from the knots that we've already made. So now we can move on to our big 국화매듭 or chrysanthemum-knot. So it uses the same principle as this normal 국화매듭 that we've made before, but it's going to be just a bit more steps. Okay, without further ado, let's just get started. To start off, I'll take my knotted part into my hand like this. I rest it on my ring finger and I clamp the purple string between my middle and ring finger. Then I start wrapping the purple string around my index and middle finger. While doing this, make sure that this time you don't hold them together like this, but a bit further apart so that the loops are bigger. So I have 1 loop right now. I'm doing a second, a third, and a fourth. When doing this, you're set up with the 생쪽매듭, so the clover knots, and the 삼정자매듭, the triple-clover-knot, should end up here on the bottom. If it doesn't after you've made loops, just adjust them a bit to be larger or smaller. Okay, then same step as for a normal 국화매듭. I'll slide my index finger into these loops and up hinge them all between my index finger, my middle finger, and my thumb. Like so. Just take your time to get a good hold on it. So once again, let us check the setup. You got your black string going to the right side. You got those 4 loops over here. The knots that we've just made before go out here in the back, as does the rest of the string. Okay, then we're all set up to move on. So continuing, we're gonna take our black string with the knots that we've already made on it, and we're going to form this really big loop. When making this loop, make sure that the knots we've already made are pretty close to like the meeting point of the loop. Okay, then we're gonna cross that loop once towards us. It's enough for now if you just take that string and wrap it once around all 4 loops up there. Once again, just take that string on the back side of the loop, so this one, and wrap it around the 4 purple loops. While doing this, make sure that you don't tangle up your knots over here in this loop. Okay, then we're gonna twist that loop once away from us, so your knotted part should be on top right now. As usual, we take our purple string, pull it through the loops. Make sure that the black string goes over it. And then pull it through the loop. And finally through the purple loops up here again. Just pull that. Also, when pulling that, make sure that the knotted part in the black loop goes on top of the purple string. Like you don't want it to be done here, but up here. Then we can continue on by flipping the loop once towards us again, meaning that your knotted part in the loop will be on the bottom again. Then you take this string of the loop again, like the one that's on top or at the back, depending on how you see it. We're gonna take that and wrap it once around the loops again. Hold that in place, and again flip the loop once away from us, meaning our knots we already made are on top or at the back side right now. Then once again, purple string through the loops, underneath the black thread, and through this loop from behind. And finally through the purple loops again. Again, make sure that your knotted part is up here and not down here somewhere. Okay, and now I'm just going to repeat the same steps 2 more times. I'm gonna do it a bit quicker right now, but take your time. If you need to, you can always rewind or even slow down the video. So I'm gonna flip that once towards me. Take the back side of the loop, wrap it around the purple loops, then twist it once away from me. Purple string through the purple loops, underneath the black thread and through my black loop from behind. Again, through the purple loops. Make sure that this stays on top of this loop. Okay. Then let's go once more. Flip that once towards me. Take the back side of the loop. Pull it around the purple loops. Flip it once away from me. Take the purple string, pull it through the purple loops, underneath the black string, through this black loop, and finally through the purple loops. Okay, that's all done. Now I want to readjust it a bit and take a bit of a different grip so it will be easier to manage. As you can see, I've pulled this black string a bit tight, so I just want to pull some of that string into those loops over here. So I'm just gonna pull on the first one. See how this gets smaller? You don't have to do this, but I think that like this it will be easier to make the knots in the end. Second one, third one, and fourth one, something like that. Okay, then we can move on. So as you can see, we have our 4 loops here on top. Sometimes they get a bit tangled up, so let's sort them out. Just try to watch that they're like even throughout the knot, that they don't cross each other. And I'm thinking that this looks fine. So what I'm going to do, from the bottom up, I'm going to split apart the first and the second purple loop and reach through the knot with my index finger. I know it's a bit complicated, it's a bit much. We'll talk about our setup in a second. So similar to how we made like the normal 국화매듭 or Chrysanthemum-Knot, I just slip my finger through the middle of the knot and have these 2 loops separated. As you can see right now, we have alternating strings crossing the loops. So purple, black, purple, black, purple, black, purple, black. If it doesn't look like that for you right now, just make sure that you really reach through the middle with your finger and not pushed some strings around. Okay, then to continue, I'll take my black string and I'll weave it in through this pattern. Again, same principle as for a normal chrysanthemum knot. So I go under the purple, over the black, under the purple, over the black, under the purple, over the black, under the purple. So underneath those 4 purple strings. Let's just do that. So under this first purple one, over the black, under the next purple, over the black, under the purple, over the black, under the purple, and finally over the black. Pull that a bit through. Make sure while doing this knot that we're not pulling anything too tight yet. Needs to be a bit loose. Okay, done. Now we'll need to flip our knot. I suggest you just take out your index finger and flip this whole thing around. As you can see, we have 4 purple loops again. Let's just watch that they're all in the right order. Okay, that's looking good. Again, I'm shoving my index finger through the middle of the knot and I'm separating the first one and the second one from the bottom. Doesn't really stay in place right now, but that's okay. We can work with that. Again, we have 4 black and 4 purple strings crossing the loops. So this time we have black, purple, black, purple, black, purple, black, purple. But before we weave the thread in, we take that second loop from the bottom, pull it a bit through this first black string over here, and we're gonna take our black string and pull it through here from the top. So see, those are the 2 loops we're separating right now, and the top one from that. Pull it a bit further out here and pull your string through there. So take the black string, pull it through there. Okay, now same thing as before, the black string goes under every purple thread. So underneath, whoops, between those 2, underneath this one, over the black one, underneath this one, and this one. So underneath all that purple strings, in between those 2 loops. It's a bit hard because not everything will stay in place right now, but just take your time, have some patience. Make sure that you keep an overview. So the string goes over this black one, underneath this purple one, over the next black one, underneath this purple one, over the black one, underneath the next purple one, over the black one, and underneath the purple one. So it should look like this. On the top we have our 3 purple loops, and on the bottom side we have this kind of net stretcher starting out. Okay, then to continue, we again flip the knot to the other side. I just grab it and flip my hand. If your loops up here get tangled up again, just make sure to straighten them out a bit. Make sure the back side also looks good. Okay, now same thing as before. I'm just gonna reach through the middle of the knot with my index finger. It might get harder from time to time because this all gets a bit tighter, but we can do it. So you see, I already woven the thread between those 2 purple loops. So I'm going to pull this one a bit down because right now I want to do the same thing, but between this one and between this one, between those 2. So here was the first loop, this is the second, the third, the fourth, and now between the second and the third one. Again, the black string just goes underneath every purple string. So the very first one is purple, black string underneath that, over the next black one and underneath this next purple thread. If you ever lose like sight of which string should be next, just look at the bottom section you've already done. It helps to keep like an overview. Okay, over this next black one, under the purple one. Oops, I just tangled up a bit of the thread in here. That's fine, just pull that out. Oh, in general, I think I left a really big loop over here. Just let me adjust it a bit. Okay, let's continue. So over the black, underneath the purple, and over the black one. Again, I'm taking this knot and flipping it to the other side. We'll find our loops again and separate the second and third one. It's alright if it doesn't stay in place. You can pull them individually as soon as you get through weaving the thread through. The important thing is just that you keep an overview, as I said, that you don't lose sight of where the strings need to go. Again, you can check that by just looking at the part at the bottom you've already done. So for this side again, I'm right now trying to separate the second and the third string. So I pull the third string a bit further out here so that I can pull my black thread through here from the top. So this belongs to the third loop. Take the black thread and just pull it through there from the top. And then same play over again, over the black string, underneath the purple string, over the black, underneath the purple, over, under, over, and under. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. I know it looks a bit ugly right now, but trust the process, okay? We flip the knot again. And then finally we're going to separate the third and the fourth loop. So those up here. So I'm going to wiggle my finger through the middle of the knot again. And I'm trying to separate those two. It might be a little hard by now because everything is a bit tight. Important part is that you like pull up the threads in between those two loops. Just like this. You can also just do this with your hand while you go along. So let's go under, over, over, under, over, under, over, pull this one up between the two loops, under, over, under, whoops, don't let this get tangled up in here, and over. Then take the knot, flip it through the back, so take the very top loop, pull it out here to the side, again pull your black thread through from the top, get a good grip on the knot again. And then between those two loops, again, we're gonna go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and under, like so. Again, you can also just pull it with your hand. For me, it's just that my hands are a bit tired from all the knotting I've done the past few days. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to keep track of where everything is. Again, orient yourself on the parts that you've already done down here if you're unsure which string it is next. And just keep pushing through a bit more. We're almost done with this knot. Also, if you're a beginner and you're not getting this at all, don't lose hope. Just take your time, look at it again and again. This is a very, very, very hard knot. You might not learn it from the first time watching. Okay, but that's that completed. I know it looks a bit ugly right now again. Trust the process a bit. For now, I don't want to pull it tight yet. I just want to even it out a bit, meaning I push and pull a bit on the string so that it has a mostly even form. So you can see how this part is very loose, but this one is really tight. I want to fix that a bit. You can do that for yourself. Yours might look different depending on where you pulled very tight or not. I'm just gonna speed that part up for you right now. You see right now it's still a bit messy, but I just wanted this in the middle to be more even and a bit looser. I think I have achieved that. So again, same as for the normal 국화매듭, we need to find out where we need to pull tight the knot. This time we got a lot more loops to pull than we usually do. So on the side where your black 생쪽매듭 or clover knot setup is, you want to find 6 other black loops. Again, we're gonna look for them by going around the outside of the knot. You can already see those here pretty prominently. But also down here, you see how it curves around the outside. So this is one, this is one, and this is also one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And your knot set up. We'll do the same for the purple side. So you can see those 3 up here very clearly how they curve around. So 1, 2, and 3. And down here, they're a bit harder to find. Let's flip our knot around. Good, we got this one definitely 1. We got this one here too. Sometimes they're a bit hidden under, but how you can identify them also is that the string that goes through the knot basically makes it turn. So like this, you know, it goes from this one line through the other. That's 2, 1, 2, and this one down here, 3. If you can't find them right away, just take your time, no shame in that. And for now, I'm going to try to pull this knot tight. I'm trying to make the part in the middle an even square, and I'll pull on all the loops that we found right now, as well as at the leftover thread and the thread on the top. I think that looks even enough for now. You can also always check your back side. I think that's fine for now because we're just gonna readjust the string in a bit anyway. So again, as for all our knots, I'll try to redistribute the string from top to bottom. Just follow the flow of the string. So if you reach this point, you've pulled the thread through from top to bottom, and you're at the point where it reaches our 생쪽매듭 setup. I'm sorry, but you'll need to thread all that extra thread again through all of these knots. That's why I said they don't need to be tidy right now. Try to make the knots really tidy while doing so. Okay, so this is what it looks like for me when it's all pulled nice and tight, all evened out. Please, while doing this, really take your time. Like, this took me over half an hour to do. It might take you even longer if you don't know where exactly to pull all the time yet. So please just take your time, take a break, just even leave it for a couple of days and then come back to it. There's no rush in doing this. To move on, as you might know, in Rumi's Norigae, we have this two-color part first, and then we have a single color part down here. We always need two strings to tie knots, so this setup doesn't really work out for us right now. So we're going to do something unusual right now. To start this off, lay out your Norigae in the direction that Rumi's Norigae is seen in from the front. What do I mean? So when you look at Rumi's Norigae from the front, the black side here on top is on the left, and this black side here is on the right. And we're going to cut off both of these strings right now. Let me just turn that around to do that. Just cut off here and here. Then we're gonna flip that to the back, and we're going to burn these ends down, but we're trying to push them onto this back side so they're not as visible from the front. I cut off a bit too little here since there was a small bulge here, so let me cut off a bit more, like so. Then we just take our lighter, heat it up, and press it really onto this back side. Really press that down. Maybe heat it up a bit more so that it sticks really well, and press that down. Same for the black string. Just heat that up and press this down to the back. Again, just a bit more. While doing this, please be careful to not burn yourselves. You can press it with the back of the lighter, for example. I'm doing it with my hand right now for more accuracy, but as I said, while doing this, please be really careful. So after that's done, it looks like this. As you can see, it's a bit ugly, but not too visible. Especially from the front, you can hardly see it, and that's what we want. So right now, we're gonna need our other purple band and our crochet hook. And what I'm going to do, if you see this part down here on the knot, like in between this black and purple section, I can form a gap with my crochet hook, and that's where I want to pull through this other purple string. If you have a needle, you can also take a needle for this. I'm just going to make some space, then grab the string and pull it through here. Try to be very careful not to mess up your knot while doing this. Then pull through one side of the string completely. And now we're just going to adjust the string a bit. As you can see, I have a shorter end right here. So I'm just gonna pull until the ends are even. Okay, I pull it into a nice position. The ends are about even. That's good enough. And then we continue on with knotting the bottom part. First of all, after this, you're gonna basically take a break and make a 도래매듭 or X knot, so the easiest of them all. Okay, that's that. For now, it's time for another 생쪽매듭 or clover knot. Okay, that's one 생쪽매듭 done. Now we're going to make one on each side of the string, so one with this string and one with this string in preparation for our 삼정자매듭 or triple-clover-knot. So here are the two 생쪽매듭 on each side, a 삼정자매듭 or triple-clover-knot, another 생쪽매듭, another 도래매듭, a 생쪽매듭, another 도래매듭. Okay, if you reach this part right here, you're a warrior. You've held up very, very well, and I'm so proud of you. Finally, we're going to do another chick knot or 병아리매듭, but this time it's going to be a lot easier than this one. So first, this time the outside of our chick knot will only have two 생쪽매듭. So again, first of all, I will need to measure where the 생쪽매듭 need to be. So I'm taking my left string over here. Again, I'm placing it between my middle and ring finger, our knotted part facing towards me, and I wrap it around my index and middle finger 2 times. And around here where the second loop ends is where I want my 생쪽매듭 to be. For me, I'll just make like a small measurement knot. As I said before, if you have some fabric chalk or something similar, you could also use this, but I don't have any right now, so I'm just doing this small knot. Then I'm going to take this bit of the string, make another 생쪽매듭. I'm going to repeat the exact same process on the right side, just by copying the measurements from the left side. Okay, so this is both of my 생쪽매듭 done. I already removed my measurement knot. If you haven't done so yet, please do that. Then we can start with making the chick knot or 병아리매듭. To start off, I'm going to do the exact same thing I did for my measurement, meaning I'll hold it in place between my middle and ring finger, knotted part facing towards us, and I'm going to wrap the left string twice around my index and middle finger. Then I'm going to go through with my left index finger and take that all into my left hand. As you might notice, it's the exact same principle as for the 국화매듭 or Chrysanthemum-Knot. Okay, I'm going to make a loop with my right purple string. Make sure that your 생쪽매듭 is included in the loop. Then we're gonna twist that loop once towards us. Take the string, so you basically can also just take the back part of the loop or the upper part, depending on how you see it, and wrap it around those 2 loops up here. Make sure that you don't catch your 생쪽매듭 in it. Then I'm going to flip that loop once away from us so that the 생쪽매듭 is at the top. And I'm going to take my other purple thread, so the one from the left side basically. I'm going to pull it through those 2 loops here on top. Again, make sure that you don't pull your 생쪽매듭 through. Put it underneath the other purple string and through the loop, and finally through the 2 purple loops. Okay, very nice. Now again, flip the loop once towards us. take the back part of the loop and wrap it around those 2 loops up here, and then twist the loop once away from us. Take your purple string from the left side, pull it through the 2 purple loops, put it underneath the other string, through this loop down here, and through the 2 loops on top. Perfect. So this time we don't have different colors, so it might be a bit harder to see. Let me change my hold again. So I'm separating those 2 loops here, those 2. I'm pushing my fingers through the middle of the knot. Don't panic, it's just the same we did before. Just take your time for it and we will do a checkup on what the setup should look like again. Your index finger should go through the middle of the knot, in between those 2 loops. There are 4 strings crossing those loops. 2 that go above the loops and 2 that go beneath the loops. Now on every string that goes beneath the loop, we will weave our thread under. Then the next one goes over the loop, so over that, again under and over. So from right to left, under the first one, over the second one, under the third one, and over the 4th one. Let's do that. Grab the string to your right, that comes from down here. Underneath the first one, over the second one, under the third one, and over the 4th one. Okay, we're going to flip our knot once again. Just slide it off your finger, hold it in your hand, flip your hand. Very nice. Now we need to find the same hold again. So here are our 2 loops. Push your index finger in between them through the middle of the knot. Before weaving in the thread, we're going to find this loop up here. So from the first one crossing the loops to the right, just pull out your upper loop a bit. Take your thread and pull it through there from the top. Just through there. Now we start weaving again. This time the first string goes over the loops, so we go over that, underneath the second one, over the third one, and then finally under the 4th one. Let's do that. Over the first one, under the second one, over the third one, and under the 4th one. Good job. Now pull a bit on your 2 생쪽매듭. And I know it all looks messy right now, but trust the process a bit. So you can see our net structure here in the middle again. And now, aside from our 2 생쪽매듭, the top and the bottom, I'll need to find 4 loops in total to pull on. 2 on each side. And again, they're the ones that kind of hug the knot from the outside. So I'm pretty sure that this is one. Same goes for that one. This one. And I think down here it might be this one. Let's just pull a bit. But it seems I was correct. So again, just pull that tight a bit, pull on every string and loop until we get a nice square shape here in the middle. Okay, I think that's both square and tight enough for now. So I'm gonna start by redistributing the string. Again, same as always, starting from top to bottom, just weave it through the knot. Once you've woven your string through to the part where the 생쪽매듭 is, you will need to thread it through the 생쪽매듭 as well. This is our cheek knot pulled tight. Finally, for this knotted part of the Norigae, we're doing a final 도래매듭. And that's that for now. If you've made this all, congratulations. This is really a tough job. It's so many knots, it's so complicated, and sometimes hard to hold in place even. So really, good job. The only thing that's left to do now is attach the tassels though. Okay, we're on to attaching the tassels. However, I just realized that there are knots on top of her tassels. So before we can actually attach anything, we'll need to first add one more 생쪽매듭 over here. So I'll do that really quick. You also do that, please. Okay, with our 생쪽매듭 done, let's move on to the tassels. First of all, we don't need this extra string that comes here on the top, so let's just cut that off. After cutting off the string from the top, I also set it with a lighter just in case. Okay, then we can start with finally connecting those to the tassels. Unfortunately, to thread this through, my crochet hook is too thick, so I'm gonna use this needle instead. So first, take one of your threads and connect it to your needle. Oh, like this. Now, you see how the tassels tie together? There's this thread over here. And just besides that, I'm going to penetrate with the needle, push that through the tassel carefully till it comes out at the bottom. You can also push it a bit onto your table to get it through. Okay, that's one side through. Let's do the same thing for the other side. If you don't have the strength to pull it through, or if the tassel is just very tight, you can't get it through at all, you can also either cut open the tassel right here. You could make your own tassel, or when pulling through the needle, if that's where it goes wrong, you could also use some pliers to really pull your needle through. Okay, then here goes the second one again. From the top, since I went through here on the right side, I'm trying to go through the same space on the left side, so right here. If you managed to pull the needle through the second time, just leave it on the string for now and pull out the rest of the string. And now I'm just going to pull on both strings until my 생쪽매듭 sits on the top nicely. Just try to even it out. But yeah, that's one tassel connected. If you wanted to, you could also leave it like that, but for accuracy, I want to do the 3 tassels. So I told you to leave your needle on this one string that you just used the last time, because we need to thread the string through another tassel. I know it's a bit hard, but don't give up. You've managed so much, so you can manage the rest. Okay then, unfortunately I've lost some of my footage, so I'm already done with the second tassel, but don't you worry, I'm gonna explain exactly what I did with the third one. So, to get started, I told you last time to keep your needle on the thread. Because I'm already on my second tassel, my needle is not connected to my thread anymore, so let me just do that really quick. Okay, and then let's talk about what we're going to do. So right now, our string comes out of this middle tassel, the tassel that we first attached, comes out down here. So then what we're going to do is, you can see it here on the left side, the string goes down here through the tassel. Then we're gonna push it through this other tassel from the bottom up. Then we're going to make a 생쪽매듭. And then we're gonna take the rest of the string and again pull it out through the tassel. Might sound a bit complicated, but don't worry, I'll walk you through it again. So we take our tassel, and from the bottom up, that might be a bit trickier actually than doing it from the top, you want to push your needle through all the way to the top. Okay, that's one side pulled through. Now I'm going to take the needle off for now, and I'm just going to pull the string a bit closer. Don't worry if it's a bit messy right now, it's not something you need to worry about. Okay, I'm not gonna pull it completely close to this other tassel right now because I want to have a little space to work with. So right now I'm just going to do a normal 생쪽매듭. While doing this, make sure that on your second step where you pull the thread around your first loop, that you choose the side where your tassel is, so you don't run into issues later on. Otherwise, later on you would have to pull this whole thing through a loop, and that's really hard. So let me just do that really quick, like this. So now I'm just going to further pull on this thread over here, so that the tassels are as close as possible together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my 생쪽매듭 so that it sits on this tassel nicely. And for this I'll just redistribute some string as we usually do, so I see you in a second. Okay, that is the 생쪽매듭 adjusted, and right now I'm gonna take my needle again, and with my thread on the needle. So right now on the opposite side of where my string comes through on this one, I'm going to go in with the needle into the tassel, and I'm going to pull it all the way through the bottom. Okay, now then this is what it looks like now that I've pulled everything through. Now's your time to readjust some stuff if you'd like. I think that's fine for me right now. Just watch out that, like, if you have a lot of distance between the tassels, maybe like redistribute your string a bit. Other than that, I think for me that looks fine. Now one issue you might see right now is that they're connected down here, but they don't stay together like this, they go like that. And you could either fix that by sewing them together in the beginning, but I kind of like them to be separated like this while I work, so that I have more room to work. Okay, then to solve this problem of them going apart, I'm just going to sew them together. And to do this, I'm just going to go through the tops of the tassels. So I just went through them once, then I'll try to go through twice, so. And then we can just tie that off like we normally would with sewing. Okay, this is what it looks like right now with them sewn together. Right now I'm just gonna readjust these a bit, and then we're going to cut off those strings here in the end. But beforehand I will just adjust those to sit more tightly on top of the tassels, so see you in a second. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with this so far. Now I'm going to tie off these ends. So I'm just going to make a knot. I pull that knot really tight. Try to make it close to the top part of the tassel. And then I'm going to just cut that off and set the knot with my lighter. So that's one side cut off, now the other side. Again, cut off, make a knot, and set with your lighter. Okay, this is what it looks like right now. Very nice. Okay, then we can move on to the final part, which is the little part of the Norigae that's on top of her tassels. So I'm just going to take my thin pink string right now, and I'm starting by wrapping it once around the middle tassel. I'm trying to hit the spot right above the tassel under the 생쪽매듭. Give me a second. When I hit that spot, I'm going to pull both ends on even length. Now everything's a bit tight spacing wise, but I'm now making a 도래매듭. Okay, and then we'll try to push the 도래매듭 as close to the beginning as we can. Okay, I think this is as close as I personally can get it, so let's pull that really tight. Okay, next up I'm going to make a 도래매듭 further down. If you see the tassels, I'm looking at the reference picture, and I think I need the next 도래매듭 at roughly this space. I'm going to take one of my beads, slide it onto both of the strings, make another 도래매듭 like so. Now the bead is nice and secure in place. Next up, I'm going to make a 국화매듭. That's one 국화 or chrysanthemum-knot done for me. Then I'll make another 도래매듭. I put another one of the beads, and I just basically repeat a 도래매듭, a 국화매듭, a 도래매듭, another bead, another 국화매듭, a 도래매듭, bead. And now we need to look a bit at where we want to roughly end. So I'm going to pull the bead all the way down here, and I think this is roughly how big my chrysanthemum-knot or 국화매듭 will be. So I'm making a 도래매듭 around here, something like that. And then finally, here's our last chrysanthemum knot. Now I'm just going to cut the ends off down here. I'm going to take my lighter, fire up the ends and try to set them here on the back. Heat them up a bit again. And push that on the back side. And this is our finished Norigae. Now you could add the charms on the Norigae, the little bell, and so on and so forth. But this is it for the base form for all the parts that need knotting or special attention. So if you made it all the way to the end, congratulations. You have pulled off something really incredible. Like, it's not easy at all. And even if you didn't get to make everything and have just completed a part, just know that you're doing so well. Like, not a single knot, maybe except for the dorämä듭, is easy on this Norigae. It's really, really hard and you did it very, very well. Now before you go, I just want to announce that next up is a tutorial for mirrors Norigae. I have yet to film and cut it, so please be patient with me. I don't have infinite time, unfortunately, since this is just a thing I do on the side. Concerning this Norigae I made for Rumi, it should already be up on my shop by now. If somebody of you is interested, you can buy it there. I'm also open to taking commissions for these, but just know, unfortunately, they're not going to be cheap. I know it's like a big shock to see a price for something like this, but also if you watch the tutorial, you know how much work it is, and it really, really takes a long time. So yeah, I hope that people understand that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching in general. If you're interested in making more Norigae or Korean knots in general, feel free to subscribe or maybe follow on some of my social media channels. Link is in the description and on my channel. And other than that, I just hope you have a great day. See ya!